Final Fantasy XIV Patch 3.1 Review. Hey guys, it's me, Gavin Vengeance. I know it's been a little bit since I put it last video, but I've been in the process of moving. As you probably noticed, this different background that I have here. Trying to work on something like a little bit green screen or something for like upcoming videos and everything. I've been, like I said, in the process of moving in a new place right now, so haven't really released any new content in a while. But I kind of want to do a video right now just reviewing the content for patch 3.1 for Final Fantasy XIV, Heavensward. I just kind of want to go over a few main topics, give you my thoughts on the new content that's been added in, and pretty much what I've been enjoying the last little while since I've been moved into the new place. So without further ado, I guess let's get right into it. The big thing for me, right off the hop, the very first thing that I can really think of that is like the bread and butter of this patch for me is the diadem, the Exploratory Missions. There's just something nostalgic about it. Like, I can remember going into Dynamis in Final Fantasy XI, and it has that same kind of feel to it. It's really hectic. There's a lot of people just pulling mobs left and right, and it's really hard to see what's going on unless you have like effects turned off and everything. I do really like that they added that you can get the esoterics from completing the missions and stuff like that. But at the same time, I really wish that they would have made it so that you had to complete more objectives than just 3 to get credit for them. Outside of that, I do like that the 210 gear, it has randomized stats, so it makes the gear a little bit more diverse, and it keeps people keep coming back to farm stuff. The only thing, my biggest complaint about the diadem so far is the Brachiosaurus is way too OP. That meteor just wrecks face. It needs to be kind of toned back or something. Either that or like your healers have to be way more ready to heal as soon as like that drops, because that thing is like it's OP. It just wipes like everything. But it's nice to see that they have like 3 different modes. Hard mode is it's a little bit weird right now because you pretty much get the same prizes even though the enemies have like double the HP and they're way harder to take down. So I kind of hope that there's a little bit more adjustments made in the future for that, so it makes the drops a little more rewarding, I guess, for having to dish out more damage to those mobs. But, you know, all in all, I find it a great time waster. I can go in there for, 3 or 4 hours, well, roughly 3 or 3 hours a day, and then my fingers start to, like, cramp up from holding out my commands on the controller. But it's a great time waster, and I love the feels of that place. It's great for me. The second thing I kind of wanted to touch on was Lord of Verminion. I kind of didn't really understand it at first, but I do know now that it's like an RTS based game. It's kind of one-sided if you don't have certain minions, so you want to make sure that you have like the best minions that you possibly can get, and on your minion hotbar, you definitely want to have like all 3 types and a mixture of those. I just finished the first tournament that they had on their server, and I gotta say, like after about 10 matches or so, and getting beaten a bunch of times, I do really enjoy it, and I did catch on to it after all. But it's a great addition. I love that game. I really think that they should do something with Triple Triad, the same way that they organize the tournaments, where you just talk to an NPC and it randomly pairs you up with someone else, instead of just like shouting for people to come and challenge you to a tournament, or going in your link shells and just getting them to trade wins with you, which is kind of broken in my opinion. And you usually see like the same people in the top like 20 lists for Triple Triad tournaments. It's something that I think they could adjust. Like what they did with the Lord of Verminion, they nailed it. Like that's exactly what they need to do with Triple Triad as well. Game's great. There's all kinds of different minions. Each minion has their own abilities, their own stats. So it's a lot of strategy to it and a lot of like thinking. But my big issue with that, on the other hand, is mouse and keyboard players have a clear advantage over people who use controllers, because the controls on the controller, it's a little bit weird getting used to. And for people who have played like StarCraft, Warcraft games, like any kind of RTS like that, Command and Conquer, you know, those people are used to like point and clicks and like jumping to certain points on your map. It's really hard to compete with somebody who's familiar with the RTS genre. But you know, that, like I said, that's one gripe that I have with it. Other than that, I love the game. They also added in like 2 other mini games, which are pretty much 1.0 mini games. The mining mini game and the botany mini game, which it's pretty cool. I like how they have it done. The weird thing that I find about it is that like when you go for the adjustments in terms of like difficulty, where you have like the cactar, the Morble, and Titan. Titan is like extremely hard to like get any winning on. It's really hard to get any kind of success in my experience from it. So I always like kind of try to find myself like getting cactar every single time, which is really easy to do. But to me, it just seems like a really easy way to farm MGP in your downtime while you're waiting for a dungeon to queue or something. Just pick cactar and keep doubling down until you have like 20 seconds left on your clock, and then just say, alright, I'm just going to cash it now. But I do like that they did add in a couple mini games that it's a little bit easier to get MGP in now. On top of that, you know, like the few other minor adjustments they made, where they like added in the challenge log for Gold Saucer. Like I like that, because that actually gives you incentive to go to the Gold Saucer and, you know, do the content, get pretty much get rewards for actually playing the games in the Gold Saucer. They made the Gold Saucer relevant instead of just something that, you know, you kind of go to. I really do like the adjustments that they made in Gold Saucer this patch. It's fantastic, and I hope they come up with something else that's, you know, just as interactive, or not interactive, engaging, just as engaging as Lord of Verminion. I think they really knocked the ball out of the park with that one. Thirdly, the Void Ark, the new raid. Mind you, I have only run this raid once, but I do like what they did with the atmosphere of it. I'm not really a fan of the background music for some reason. There's just something about it, and maybe it'll grow on me, but yeah, just the background music, it's odd for me. I know it's trying to kind of fit the atmosphere of the Void Ark and everything, but yeah, I was definitely kind of put off by that. But at the same time, I do love how the boss mechanics work on a couple of fights. We've seen a couple different mechanics, like the one with the dragon and the root that grows up in like the middle of the tree. Like that was a great fight. And the echidna, where it like splits into 3 different parts, and each tank has to take each part of it. Great mechanics. It's nice to see a good change for the gear. Item level 200, which is awesome, because that is still kind of relevant for like your off jobs that you don't really main or anything. Weekly cap on them. I'm hoping to see that they add in the option to be able to trade in for the item that upgrades like the antiquated weapons. Because if they end up doing the antiquated weapons, I know they'll probably end up doing it eventually. But, you know, that would be a big benefit as well. I guess they're just trying to not really make King Thornton or Alexander Savage, like, turn 4. I guess they're trying to make those not irrelevant just yet. But maybe, like, later on, a couple weeks down the road or something, or maybe when the new patch, like, drops, the next patch, maybe we'll see the gob, I think it's called the gob dips or something, that you upgrade with. Maybe we'll see those as a surprise as well. Other than that, I mean, the 24-man raid, it's pretty easy. I'd compare it to Circus Tower, I guess, because it's not really as hard as World of Darkness was when it first came in, but it's not bad. I can't complain about it. It is a good dungeon. Just I wish that music, and I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me, like I said, but I just wish that music was a little bit better for me. The next thing that I have to talk about is the new dungeons. And first I'll start with St. Machian's Arbitum? Arbitum? such a weird like thing to pronounce. But yeah, I really like this dungeon. It's a little bit different. I'm not really a fan of bugs, to be honest, but no, it was a great dungeon. Like I said, again, awesome mechanics for the boss fights. I really, really did like that. You had to go and like fight the bee boss. The bee boss is awesome. Just like have the bees on the outer ring, like just line up and like shoot all the freaking stingers at you. It's pretty fun, but at the same time, like you see so many people wiping through that mechanic. But it's good nonetheless. I really do like that dungeon. It's nice to see something a little bit more fresh, a little bit different for sure. Um, and then the other dungeon that we got was Pharaoh Sirius Hard. Now, Pharaoh Sirius for me, I really didn't like it that much when it initially came out, but Pharaoh Sirius Hard, it just completely like turned that around for me. I absolutely love this dungeon. I think it's probably my favorite one in this patch. It's nice to go back to the dungeon and just see a new take on it, right? There's one section in that dungeon though that to me is a little bit iffy, but I do like the hecticness of it. It's where the enemies are like breaking down the wall, and then you have to go and like take care of the enemies before they break down the wall, and they release like the living rock behind the wall. It's different. It's really hard right now, but I'm guessing it's going to be a lot easier like in the future. But the entire dungeon is great. I love the boss mechanics in the fights as well. Especially like the one with the goblin where you have to take the slimes and like kill them on the steam, like where the steam's bursting out of the floors and stuff. It's cool. It's different. Again, like they keep the battles interesting, and I love that. It's probably the best thing that they do, like in terms of the dungeons. I just wish that we had more dungeons, and I wish that maybe we got some kind of like randomly generated dungeons as well eventually. But who knows? We'll see. Other than that, like I said, yeah, those two dungeons, great additions. I'll run them multiple times, obviously, for tomes, all kinds of stuff. But it's good, and like I said, they also drop like I-185 gear, which is a step up from the Asern gear if you upgrade like the old Yasha stuff. So, like I said, it's kind of still relevant. It's good. Definitely easy to take down. They're not really hard to get used to, so it's a welcome addition in my opinion. Next thing that I have to touch on is Beast Tribe quests. So we finally got some more, and I do like these Beast Tribe quests. They're really reminiscent of the Amalja quest for me. I like that, you have your mount base ones where you just go around and you spit buffet at like the midge clouds, stuff like that. It's nice to see what kind of mount. I'm guessing that we're probably going to get at like rank 7 whenever we max out that Beast Tribe like affinity. But with that said, the thing that I really don't really like about it that much again is you're limited to 3 quests per day, which is odd because when I looked at my allowances, it was like 11 allowances, and I can only spend 3 a day, so it's kind of weird, but I guess it's just to prevent you from ranking up too fast. Like I said, there's limitations. It's going to happen. That they do it with every patch. They just don't want to progress it too fast, I guess. But I do like that they steered away from the crafting this time, where the Ixal was just based mainly on crafting, pretty much. But yeah, like I said, I do like the Beast Tribe quests. So I'm just wondering now, when are we going to get the Nath Beast Tribe quest? Probably next patch. Maybe a little bit further down the road, I don't know. But hopefully they don't go back crafting with that. Also, they give great experience for the Vani quests. I think like when I was on Monk 58 or something, I was getting like 60k per quest, which is awesome. It's a great way to level up. To throw that in with your duty roulettes and stuff like that you do daily. And lastly, like the big thing that I can really think of off the top of my head would be King Thordan Extreme. Now, like the Void Arc, I haven't really ran it a whole lot, but from my experience with King Thordan, it's a pretty tough fight. Definitely best to run with a group that's familiar with the fight, people that are actually confident into it, because it only takes one person, like many other fights, just to mess up everything for the rest of the party. Great fight, lots of mechanics to remember, very hectic, and definitely reminds me of Ultima hard mode when we first got that. So yeah, the Minstrel's Ballad quests are great. So, but if it's anything to do with the same way that Ultima was, following patch is probably going to be nerfed and extremely easy. But who knows? I hope they keep the same difficulty because it's really challenging and it just gives you that sense of accomplishment when you beat it. The new weapons that you get from it, all the Heaven weapons and everything, are great. They're item level 205. You can use them for every other job that you don't have like esoteric weapons for or anything. It's an awesome way to actually gear up your DPS with like every job. So I will say that like I do like that fight, and I'm hoping to get into it a bit more and knock it out finally. But yeah, like I said, all in all, like the patch as a whole, I think it provides a lot of great content, a lot of things for you to spend your time on. I mean, we pretty much went from 3.0, which gave us a lot to do, and then at the end of it, we're kind of sitting around just doing a couple daily roulettes, and then be like, all right, well, I'm going to log off for today. And now, with this new patch, it's like, I don't have any time to do anything but this game. And that's awesome. I love that there's enough content to keep everybody busy right now. But hopefully, by the time it starts slowing down, we'll get a next patch as well. So yeah, all in all, this patch, awesome addition. Hats off to the developers, great job on it. I really, really love it. Just make that adjustment to Triple Triad tournaments, please. And who knows, if you guys like this video, then maybe I'll do another patch review in the future, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything that you think I missed, anything like, any minor details, say hairstyles, stuff like that, new dances, all that minor stuff. Let me know what you think is your favorite part of the patch in the comments below. Like if you guys like my video, and if you share it, I really appreciate it. It helps me out. And thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.